والله العظيم لا بنستسلم لأولى شيء.
Those scenes from a new documentary called The Cave, which will be in theaters starting tomorrow. It focuses on an underground hospital in Syria that went subterranean to avoid the fierce fighting above ground. Plus, it's run by a female doctor in a country where women are often marginalized.
منطقة محاصرة، أدوية ما فيها، أنت بتعرف يعني الأدوية اللي فيها كثير عم ترد عليك.
غيرك ما بيحسن؟
يعني
ليش ما في مدير يعني زلمه يكون حط حاله ويحسن يأمن الأدوية؟
المستشفى اللي فيها مدير عم يقدر يأمن أدوية، ما عم تقلي معلقة الدواء لا هون ولا برا.
أصلا المرأة ما لازم تشتغل نهائيا، المرأة لازم تقعد في البيت.
And joining me now, the director of that film, Feras Fayyad. He obviously took this project on firsthand. Many people may remember him as the director also who produced Last Men in Aleppo. Feras, thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Amani, she's a pediatrician. She's treating a constant stream of children coming in. We'll show a clip with her in a moment, but how did you come across this unique story and this unique hospital?
I grew up in a very strong female family. My mom was a very strong woman, and I've been raised with this family. In 2011, I jailed by the Syrian regime because I was doing a documentary about the civil demonstration in Syria. I've been tortured. I almost about to lose my life. I was witnessing and hearing the sound of the woman who was tortured in the prison because they're just because their gender. When I get out after 18 months from aperture torture, I heard about the story of Amani in Eastern Ghouta because I was living close to Eastern Ghouta in Damascus, and Eastern Ghouta is just like 5 to 10 miles from central of Damascus. Amani was one of this first responded about to help the victim of the first chemical attack that took place in 2013 in Syria, and they in that night killed there is around more than 1,500 people killed in one night, mostly children and women. But also I figured out through the research that she was the first woman to manage an hospital in the history of Syria, and that was an extraordinary. So I started to have the conversation with her.
We showed a scene obviously about, even though she's the only person that can help so many of these children, there's still skepticism related to her sex, but the tragic stories that she hears every day and sees firsthand. I want to play a clip about a young girl who comes in and talks about not having the family that she started with before this war.
حط ايديك على اذانك وقت القصف، انا هيك بعمل احيانا مشان ما اخاف.
ايه
شو بيشتغل بابا؟
ما بيشتغل، ابي ما له هون يشتغل.
وينه؟
مات الله يرحمه.
كيف مات؟ مات بالقصف؟
تفجير سيارات.
صار له زمان؟ بتحكي لبابا؟
ايه
زعلتي لما مات ما؟ يكون بمكان أحسن صح؟
I took from some of the scenes that I've seen in the movie that obviously she's in very difficult situations, the last line of aid for these children, but also almost takes on a therapist role as well. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, Dr. Amani was also not just a doctor who was specific in treating the children. She was also helping these children, little girls, to express themselves and kind of educating them and give them like space to express, to be themselves. And many of these children who's lost their families, they wasn't have somebody to care about them or give them like this is feeling, that the intimate feeling. Amani, she was the one who gave those little girls the whole space. Like this is girls, we've been documented many of these girls who lost their families because the bomb and the explosion car by ISIS or by the direct attack from the Russian warplanes and Syrian regimes, or being killed by snipers. Unfortunately, a lot of this generation from that, Amani, she was trying to bring the attention for this generation and try to do something for them.
You know, amazingly, by the way, a lot of this film you've had to direct remotely because the siege was going on, you know, as you were trying to get into country. But I wanted to ask, because one of the things for people familiar with the last men of Aleppo, and as I think they'll see in The Cave, is the abject cruelty of the Assad regime, literally intentionally trying to bomb hospitals. But yet we see the news today playing out. I know you still have a lot of family and friendship still in Syria, that somehow it almost seems like the Assad regime is going to be rewarded for this barbarism with what we see playing out now with the Kurds in the northern part of the country. I mean, how, you know, heartbreaking is that part of this?
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's very scary and sad. We, even us who is like managed to survive and being in the exile, we still scared. Like bringing this as a story put me in high risk and dangerous as well, put the subject of the film as well, like the cinematographer, the team that worked with me, the Syrian team. My family is still in Syria, and but you know, sometimes you have to tell this truth and bring it up, and the Syrian regime with the Russian allies try strongly to hide all of these crimes and the truth, and there are so many layers from propaganda. You know, the Russians been attacking the hospital from the beginning of their entering Syria. This is very sad and very scary that a lot of Syrian will feel there is injustice. A lot of Syrian like me who is living in the exile, they will not back Dr. Amani, Dr. Salim, the nurse Samaher, Dr. Ala. All of us, we will not back because we will not trust in the Syrian regime or the Russians until the Assad removed.
Feras Fayyad, thank you again. His film, The Cave, and you can catch it in select theaters tomorrow. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we remember a life lost. Elijah Cummings, the congressman from Maryland, civil rights advocate, as well as also a powerful member of the House. He suddenly passed last night. We'll remember his life after this.